Hey everybody, hope you're having a great day. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go over the scenario, what if Bardock was the Super Saiyan God? Now before we begin, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Now this scenario is going to begin right when Frieza launches his death ball at planet Vegeta. Bardock desperately tries to push Frieza's attack back. His fellow Saiyans rally behind him. In that moment, their lives flashed before their eyes, their regrets, their will to live. Their hearts become pure with this desire to survive. Seeing Bardock in front of them, their energy gets channeled into him, and he changes. His hair becomes red, his physique trims down, and his power level becomes undetectable. He manages to destroy Frieza's death ball before flying at the tyrant himself. Bardock ends Frieza before Frieza can even comprehend what's happening. The Saiyans don't know this, but they inadvertently did the Super Saiyan God ritual on Bardock. The king of all Saiyans looks up at the sky and all he sees is a red glow flying through Frieza's ships. Bardock decimates the Frieza force in what is seemingly an instant. He descends back down to the planet where he is revered. No one knows what's happening. No one understands this. Whenever somebody tries to scan his power level, it's being registered as 0. The king, the scientists, everyone is confused. But despite that, King Vegeta takes charge and he immediately orders Vegeta and all the Saiyans back to the planet. Bardock's Super Saiyan God form fades and he reverts back into his base form. But remember, the God power gets absorbed into his base form. That energy is now his. Now, any attempt to scan Bardock's power results in a number so high it destroys the Scouter. His power is literally off the charts. He is the strongest Saiyan by an unknowable degree. Now King Vegeta knows word of this will travel very slowly because Bardock destroyed everything, but eventually King Cold will realize what happened. And he will want vengeance for his son. He will bring the full might of the Frieza Force to destroy the Saiyans, and they need to prepare. First and foremost, they need to figure out a way for Bardock to control his power. They need to learn if this is the legendary Super Saiyan form, but the Saiyan scientists say that Bardock's power was unscannable. They suggest that this is something else entirely. Now Bardock's first priority is he wants to go to Earth to get his son Kakarot, and the king questions why he even sent his son to that weakling planet. Bardock tells the king that he was worried about what Frieza had planned for the Saiyans, but if everything went well, he would have gone and picked up Kakarot, no big deal, but it looks like he was right. Now King Vegeta is adamant that this isn't the priority right now, and when he sees Bardock's face turn to anger, he reminds him that Earth is still the safest place for him. It's only a matter of time before vengeance gets enacted on the Saiyans. As of right now, they need to prepare planet Vegeta for war. Now Bardock is able to convince Gine of this plan on waiting for Kakarot. So some of the events of OG Dragon Ball will take place during this what-if scenario. Now Bardock's main goal is to regain this red-haired form. But for some reason he can't access it, despite fighting against the strongest Saiyans on planet Vegeta, which are the King Vegeta and Prince Vegeta. Even in their Great Ape forms, their power is nothing to Bardock, and he nearly kills them because he doesn't know how strong he really is. Because remember, again, his base power is at a level that's unsurmountable at this point in the story. Now something interesting continues to happen because when the King and the Prince return from their healing pods, their power levels continue to skyrocket. Now the Saiyans knew about Zenkai boosts, but in their culture, high-ranking and low-ranking Saiyans are determined by their birth power levels. However, they didn't realize the benefits of training amongst each other. They relied on combat for their Zenkai boosts. Now realizing this, the king understands in order for the Saiyans to survive, they have to swallow their pride. They have to keep fighting against Bardock to the point where they nearly die every time. There's no way they'll be able to grow fast enough without this. Bardock represents this insurmountable power that the Saiyans have to overcome, and while he continues to try to access his Super Saiyan God form, the king and the prince continue to try and defeat him. Vegeta's squad rotate in and out sparring with Bardock, Nappa, Raditz, Vegeta, the prince, and several other elite Saiyans. They will continue this experiment for as long as they can. Now, despite months going by, Bardock is still unable to find the trigger for the Super Saiyan God transformation. But one day, while sparring, the king and the prince launch a massive Gallic gun attack at Bardock. And after months of consecutive Zenkai boosts, Bardock actually has to defend against it. The sight of this attack reminds him of the desperation he felt when Frieza launched his death ball. But then he remembers the calm that suddenly came over him, the cooling internal pressure of his energy in that moment. The God Ki floods out of Bardock and he actually manages to transform. Meanwhile, back at King Cold's planet, he realizes that something is up when the Saiyans and Frieza have not checked in. Now at this point, Vegeta, King Vegeta, Raditz, Nappa, all their power levels are over 100,000. They are unrecognizably strong, however they still don't have full control over their ki. Bardock has actually learned how to lower and mask his ki by having the scientists continually scan him. Now all the elite Saiyans that Bardock spars with also gained this ability. But none of the Saiyans can sense ki without their scouters just yet. Now King Vegeta has a plan, so when King Cold descends, the Saiyans will lie to him. King Cold asks King Vegeta where Frieza is. And the king tells him that once Frieza ordered all the Saiyans back to the planet, he never arrived to tell them what to do. He even shows him the scouter records showing that Frieza's last communication with them was this order. The Saiyans have just been waiting around, and Cole is super irritated. But once he scans their power levels, he actually sees that they've gotten a bit weaker since he last saw them, meaning they probably have just been sitting around. But this opens up another question: where would Frieza have gone? Now when Bardock destroyed Frieza in the Frieza Force, he left no evidence. His blasts obliterated everything. Now King Cold realizes perhaps Frieza went hunting for the Wish Orbs. Maybe he found the lead on where they are and just took off. Cold decides to leave the Saiyans, but before he does, he asks if Frieza mentioned any Wish Orbs or anything. King Vegeta doesn't know and says as much, and Cold leaves the planet. The Saiyans can't believe they actually got away with it for now. But this is when Bardock tells King Vegeta about his time on planet Cereal, and how there was a wish-granting dragon. How he met Monado, who asked what wish he wanted, and he told him he wanted his sons to thrive. And based on this description, they realized that Monado was actually a Namekian. Now, they don't know what to do with this information just yet because they don't know what King Cold is going to do. They make plans to visit the Namekian homeworld soon, but all they can focus on is training. Now, of course, King Cold is going to go to Namek, but the Saiyans don't know about it. Him and his army are easily able to conquer the Namekians, and when they summon the dragon, he makes a wish for his son. But Porunga tells him that Frieza is dead. Now this is when Cold gets furious and wishes Frieza back to life. Now Frieza is going to tell his father all about the Saiyans and that red-haired transformation. That the energy he felt emanating off of the Saiyan, he could never defeat him, even in his final form. That they need to find a way to push further beyond if they stand a chance against the Saiyans. Now the father and son duo go to the Frieza Force planet Vegeta recovered on in DBZ, and the two begin their training. Absolutely disgusted at the thought of having to put effort into destroying these monkeys. Now shortly after, Bardock has mastered the Super Saiyan God transformation, to the point where he can go in and out of the form. Now the rest of the Elite Saiyans actually reach power levels so high that Bardock has to put in effort when he's sparring against him. A very minimal effort, to be fair. And eventually they reach the point of diminishing returns, and once they reach this point, they decide to go to the planet Namek. And when they arrive, they see the Namekians rebuilding their nearly destroyed home world. Once they realize what happened and that Frieza has been brought back, King Vegeta asks how long it's been since they left. The Namekian elder says it's been about a month. That they flew off in a hurry and they pointed in a direction. The Saiyans look at a map to see what planets are in the direction the Namekian pointed at. Nappa realizes that there's a base he used to report to in this area. Perhaps they went there. The Saiyans hurry, flying their ship at max speed towards this planet. They land, and their ki control has gotten better, particularly Bardock's. He can kind of sense ki now, but they still rely on their scouters. They scan 2 massive power levels before their scouters explode. The Saiyans rush in, destroying Frieza Force members along the way. Bardock, King Vegeta, Raditz, Prince Vegeta, and Nappa all enter ready to face the space tyrants. The other Elite Saiyans stand guard outside the chamber. But with that being said, guys, we're going to end this scenario right here. Now, do you guys think that Frieza's new power level is actually going to be able to match Super Saiyan God Bardock's? Also, how dope of a fanfiction is this, really? Imagine seeing King Vegeta, and Bardock fighting alongside each other. Ah, I love fanfiction. Also, Raditz is alive. Goku's still on Earth. There's so many different directions I could take this scenario. But please, let me know what you guys would like to see in the comments down below. And don't forget to hit subscribe for more. Peace. Seriously, I'm still in the middle of writing this. So if you want any particular plot line thrown in, comment down below.